Deadline fast approaching. It's tomorrow. So to help folks who might be scrambling to make it in on time, we've asked tax expert Andrew Poulos of Poulos Accounting and Consulting to help out with some last-minute tax tips. Thank you so much for being here.
Mike, good to be here.
Okay, so real quick, before we get to the tips, let's talk about the Trump tax cuts that people are getting shocked. A lot of folks getting shocked. You were telling me that they're either not getting refunds at all or they're getting much smaller refunds than they have to owe.
Yes, I mean, it certainly is a interesting tax season, as you probably know. But yeah, a lot of people who have been accustomed to receiving refunds are getting a shock, having balanced dues, getting a much smaller refund.
So what do they do for next year?
You got to start planning now, right? So the key is if you owe this year and you haven't owed in the past, you got to review your situation, look at your pay stub, see how much you're having withheld, what are your allowances that you're claiming. You've got to make some adjustment or else you're going to be in the same problem next year.
So go to HR and maybe say what?
Maybe say, hey, what am I claiming? Am I filing on my paycheck single and two, single and one? There's got to be some adjustment there, but you want to see what you're claiming. A lot of people, what happened, Mike, is when the tax tables changed last year with the new tax laws, folks started getting more money in their paycheck. Well, that just translates to less of a refund this time of the year.
And it's not a good thing really to have a refund. We've talked about this before because really it's the government keeping your money with no interest.
Absolutely.
But for a lot of people, it's just the way they save money.
Yeah, so for many people, not, it's just that is their savings for the year. The reality is, the way I look at it in my world, is the perfect tax return is the one where you're as close to break even as possible.
Okay, let's get to some of these tips. You say, talk about filing an extension, like you really need to do that with a quickness, right?
Yes, I mean, you got till midnight tomorrow night, but probably a little less if you're going to file a paper extension, Form 4868. You got to get it postmarked by tomorrow, and the best thing you can do is make sure you send it out certified mail, because just dropping it in the mailbox at the post office, there's no guarantee that the IRS will get it.
And it's pretty easy to fill out, right?
Yes, it's one form, your name, your social security number, what you have had withheld for the year or have paid in estimated taxes, and then what you project your liability is.
So you have 6 months until October then,
October
right?
15th is going to be your deadline at that point, so you've got time to get all your paperwork together, your information. So if you're missing records right now, and for some reason you haven't been able to get everything together, best thing is to file an extension. Don't rush to file something that's not correct, because that can get you audited.
Okay, contribute to your IRA by Monday, by tomorrow.
Yep.
What if people don't have even having the money? I guess you're out of luck, right?
Well, if you don't have money to contribute to your IRA, you're not going to contribute.
But the good thing to do it is why?
The reason is if you're doing a traditional IRA, you're getting a tax break. So it's an above the line deduction, which means that you're going to get, say, $5,000. If you contribute hypothetically $5,000, you're in a 22% bracket, you probably might save $1,000, $1,100.
And for our business owners out there, we have some small business owners and people who might be like independent contractors. What do you want them to know?
I want them to know that with the new Trump tax law that's in effect, there's a new qualified business income deduction, which means that potentially 20% of the profit from your business or your freelance work might be exempt from federal taxes, and that's huge this year.
And lastly, a lot of people want to know about the charitable contributions too, because that has actually changed also.
Yes, itemized deductions itemized deductions are still there. The standard deduction has increased for both single and married taxpayers, which means it's a little bit harder to itemize. But if you're able to itemize, make sure you are getting your best bang for your buck, meaning you are putting on a return all the cash and non-cash donations that you've had, because a lot of times it may not make a huge difference on the federal return, but it can make a big difference on your state return.
Okay, and Andrew, we know that you have been extremely busy, but in case folks have any more questions, how can they hit you up?
Yeah, they can hit me up online at poulosaccounting.com, or they can dial up at the office tomorrow at any time, 770-938-6300.
Yeah, this man's been working since 2:30 in the morning, everybody, so give him a little time to get back to you, but good luck with that. Andrew Poulos, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate
Mike, good to be here.
Alicia.